Welcome to 365 Christian Men, where every day we aim to inspire and encourage with real-life stories about men. September 2nd, Deano Sargent. Deano Sargent was a man who loved God, loved his neighbor, and loved to farm. He was a faithful man, a man who did the job at hand, cared for the people at hand, and didn't worry himself about getting to the top. Here's his story.
When you value God's people, they begin to feel their worth. The tractor motor roared, and Deano Sargent kept a steady eye on the horizon, a cloud of heartland dust rising behind him. His heart overflowed with gratitude. How could simply serving God and loving others have led him here? For as long as he could remember, Deano had hoped of being a farmer, and now he was living the dream. As a new resident of a small farming town and a rookie farmer, Deano decided to meet his neighbors. One day, rejecting all the stories about the odd couple who lived in the little red farmhouse, Deano showed up on their front porch, and with a firm knock and a friendly smile. The door opened, and a committee greeted him. There was Floyd and Mary and a heap of cats. Deano took Floyd's leathery hand and pumped. A unique friendship began. Deano soon learned that this elderly couple had no children and no one to help them in their time of need. Floyd and Mary's concerns became Deano's to-do list. Everyone has a story, and their story deserves to be heard, Deano often said. From then on, Floyd regularly invited Deano to help on the farm, and Deano was happy to serve. He figured that was what God had created him for and why God had put this love of farming in his soul. But Deano also found a farming mentor in Floyd, and the two men enjoyed a growing bond around their shared love of farming. One chilly spring morning, Deano got up before the sun made its appearance, and he hopped into his truck. He rumbled down the old gravel road to Floyd and Mary's farm, and his coffee splashed in the cup holder. As he stepped out of his truck, Deano smiled and thought it was a beautiful morning, and without being asked, he had stopped by Floyd's to spray his fields for the weeds before going to work. From the farmhouse, Floyd had heard the truck pull up and hurried out to see who was there. Surprised to see Deano, especially at this hour, Floyd walked out onto the field and said, "Deano, I want you to do something for me. I want you to tell me you will take care of Mary if anything should happen to me." Deano was surprised, and with a compassionate smile, "Sure, Floyd, you bet." That was it. A short conversation, they got on with the business of spraying weeds. In the days ahead, Deano invited Floyd to the Stiles Christian Church, where Deano served as an elder. Floyd gave his heart to Christ there and was thrilled to have finally found a church family who accepted him and loved him like Deano. It was this same church family who wrapped their arms around Mary when Floyd unexpectedly passed away. After Floyd's passing, Deano remembered his commitment to his friend and mentor. Deano visited Mary nearly every night, and he brought along caring conversation and a few jokes to brighten her day. He became the son she never had. Whether taking her for Sunday drives around the farm or attending special events at her nursing home, he was doing what he did best, planting seeds of love in God's creation. On one of their many drives around the farmland, Mary said to him, "Deano, I want you to have all of this when I'm gone, all 600 acres. And when she joined Floyd in heaven, she made that happen." To anyone who would listen, Deano would say, "Joy surely means Jesus first, yourself last, and others in between. Plant the good seeds of righteousness, and you will harvest a crop of love," as it says in Hosea 10:12. Is there someone in your life who needs to be reminded of their value by simply sharing God's love? When you value God's people, they begin to feel their worth.
Thank you for listening to today's story. Every day of the year, our hope is to inspire you with real-life stories of faithful men who have gone before us. Today's story was about a man who isn't as well known as some, but his story proves that God uses ordinary men in many different ways to accomplish His purposes. Is there a man whose story has inspired you, but most people have never heard his story? We would like to hear his story and maybe include him in 365 Christian Men. Please visit our website to share the story of a man who has inspired you, and join us tomorrow at 365christianmen.com.